Ain't nobody bigger than me talking shit about me. And by the way, I will talk shit about people. The one guy you mentioned, he's a rat. He's a criminal. He's a convicted criminal. He's a piece of fucking garbage.
All right, welcome to the Zain Effect. Today we have Grant Cardone back for round two, CEO and fund manager, 1.7 billion assets under management, 21 best-selling books and business programs, and creator of the 10X movement and Cardone University. Mr. Grant Cardone, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm good, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing unbelievable. So I want to hop right into this. First off, how is your business? How is the real estate? How is everything doing during COVID-19 protest, everything going on? How's business for you?
Yes. So, I've been through these cycles before, Zain, as you know, and I'm a very, very conservative, very proactive businessman. And because I've been through some of these cycles, I've learned how to operate in them. Particularly 2008 taught me a lot. But even the savings and loan crisis back in the mid-90s, the 2001 internet bust, 2008 almost crushed me when it happened. And then the mistakes I learned along the way from both of those was, all of those actually was that, I responded too slowly. So this time when this one happened, March 20th, March 22nd, something like that, man, we activated some things immediately so that we could be where we are today, 60 days or 70 days later. First thing we did was a really fast contraction. We got rid of a couple of departments, unfortunately, that I was extremely excited about. I got rid of those, which meant we lost some people, which we didn't want to lose people, but we did, and we had to, so that we could consolidate our efforts and push back out into the marketplace. And because we made those moves, 70 days, everybody's back to full wages. We're actually adding people. What week are we in right now? June?
Yeah, we're June 1st.
We're even despite the protest, the COVID, the contractions, 40 million jobs lost, we're back to, everybody's back to full pay. Our apartments are at 98%, almost 99% collected.
Wow.
Our businesses are doing better than we actually might have a record month in May.
And is that something that you forecasted when all of this was happening? Did you think you would be able to come back like that and
no, I never think I'm going to come back. I think I'm always going to go down, right? So that's part of the 10X rule, like swim for your life, dude, and you're probably still going to drown. And regardless of what people see me doing on social media, a lot of that is just born out of a good sense of fear and self-survival, in being frugal and I'm not. You see me in the cars and we see us traveling in the plane. My name's on it, but when it comes to money and finance and economics and hard work, I'm a very frugal person.
Has that fear increased or decreased as you've had more success? Because, obviously like your responsibility level has definitely increased. So has that fear increased with it or has it decreased?
Well, the only thing the fear is still there. It's always there because there's so many unknowns. Fear for me is just an indicator of two things. Either I don't know something or I need to lean into this. Both those have served me well to remember that. They're like caution lights. Okay, you don't know something. It's not that I shouldn't do something. There's something I don't know. If it's guns, okay, I'm scared of a weapon. Why? Because I don't know how to load it. I don't know how to reload it. I don't know how to pull it back. I'm not comfortable with it. Well, once I take a couple lessons or classes and I do it over and over, I'm comfortable with it. I know it's not going to hurt me. So it's either I don't know something. Like in this cycle right here, the thing that I was in Colorado when this thing went down. I grabbed my plane, called pilots, get the plane over here, pick the family up, bring me back to Miami for an emergency meeting. I was very scared at the time because I've worked 35 years. I don't want it all taken away from me.
Was it scarier than '08 for you?
Yeah. It's always scarier because it's always scarier this time than last time because last time's over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, last time doesn't carry unknowns anymore. I know I survived last time.
Yep.
So that's the problem. That's the problem. Oh, thank you. That's the problem with people. The next time it happens, I'm gonna be ready to go. Yeah, but you say that now, but you don't understand the amount of angst that you're going to be experiencing. This time, I knew what was going on. I'm like, okay, this is how the cycle plays out. You need to go tell the staff, this is what's going to happen. You're the senior man. You're the captain of the ship. Tell them what's going to happen. We're going to throw some people in some departments overboard right now so that when we sail 2 months from now and the rest of the world's trying to figure out what the hell's going on, we already know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that when the waters calm down again, we can go with speed and certainty. So the first fear is just not knowing, right? The second level of fear is, hey man, I just need to do this because it's a different kind of fear. It's not a fear of unknown. It's a fear of, I need to go out on stage and talk to 12,000 people. Are they going to like me? And I can tell you right now, that second fear, I don't think it ever goes away. I think you were at our event in Vegas.
Yep.
Kevin Hart was there. Snoop was there. Magic Johnson. Dude, the biggest names like Kevin Hart, Floyd Mayweather came out and he was nervous.
It's crazy.
12,800 people, a room he didn't know, right? He wasn't boxing that day. It was a little unknown to him. So some of those nerves never go away, but the fear that comes from uncertainty, that's why people need to spend so much time on their own self-awareness, which I know you believe in. Becoming aware of who you are and really spiritually who a person is so important because that's really where your courage can come from.
For sure. And one of the things that, I've always kind of wondered, because as my businesses have grown, I've had more employees, my payroll's increased, my responsibilities increased, my rent's increased, where I live is more expensive, right? All these things continue to go up. So for you, when you look at this, when '08 happened, you didn't have the jet, you didn't have that many employees, you didn't have this much real estate. This time around, you have a jet, you have over $1 billion in real estate, you have all of these employees. How was that different for you? Because this time, I feel like last time it was probably just you and your family you were more worried about, right? And this time it's you, your family, your investors, your employees. It's a lot more people involved.
Yeah.
So how was that?
Yeah, very, very aware of you as an interviewer to ask that question. Most people have not asked that, but the last time I didn't cut anybody's pay. I didn't have anybody. We let go of a department. I got a lot of heat about that on the internet. Cardone's letting people go. Yeah, you don't have anybody to let go. We let go of 40 people. We killed an entire department. Okay, what people don't understand is I killed a dream I had. I didn't kill people. I killed a dream. I had this division that I've tried 3 times now to build, and 3 times it's failed. They don't see the failures. Mm-hmm. 3 times I've made a run at this particular department. I'm not going to mention what it is. I failed 3 times in a row because I'm going to get it right sooner or later. I had to throw it away, man. So I had to throw my dream away. With that dream went some people. So it's completely different this time than last time. Last time I was disgusted in myself. In 2008, I was disgusted because I realized I had put my family in harm's way. This time, I was like, okay, we're not in harm's way here, but we do need to manage. Because people, and I said this in 2008, the next time this happens to me, I will have 10 times the employees, 10 times the real estate, 10 times the debt. I didn't know I'd have a plane. I think I had $50 million worth of debt last time. I have 1.1 billion, 20 times, 20 or 200. I don't know, a bunch. I think it's 200 times. How much is it, right, Jared? 200?
Yeah.
I think it's 200 times. We have 107 employees here, maybe 115 now. We had 3 last time. That's 50 times more employees. That's just in this company. There's another 485 employees in the real estate. So yeah, a lot more to manage. I cut my salary as soon as this happened. We cut all spending when this happened in March 20th. All spending got cut. Okay. Personal spending, not the company spending.
And did your team and your family and everyone around you support that, push that? Were they saying
almost they supported it after I enforced it. Nobody wants to do this, right? Nobody wants to do this. Look, I may look back and say I overreacted. Jared was there through the whole thing. Him and another executive were like, dude, like, you're overreacting. This was before anybody was let go. There was not $40 million jobs lost. Mm-hmm. Okay. There wasn't 400 jobs lost. This is all before anything went down. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. This is literally in the first hours that I was responding to this. And again, I might look back later and say I overreacted, but 60 days into this event, we're having record months. Because once you accept the situation for what it is, put the kitchen fire out, if you will. Mm-hmm. Acceptance, get to full acceptance, okay? Get to full acceptance as fast as you possibly can about where you are. Lick your wounds, get over it. Then you can start putting all your attention on where you can go, how you can move into expansion. And that is the point of 10X. A lot of people are like, 10X is always expansion. No, 10X sometimes means you come in as fast as you can. Reinforce your facility. Support your base so that you can go back out and do 10X again.
And I saw you I remember like the first week you were talking about it, I was observing you and you were saying the same exact thing, right? Like, okay, we have to go into contraction right now. We have to stop the expenses. We have to let go of the people, et cetera. And then we saw you kind of go back out into the marketplace and you pulled some awesome marketing stunts, which I thought was brilliant, by the way. I know a crap ton of people were offended by it. I thought it was genius. And I saw the whole thing from the start of it. Is that something, looking back, was that a regret? Is that something you're proud of you doing? Is it something like looking back, you're like, man, I should add more empathy, or like?
I wish, Zain, that it was, I wish it would have been a marketing stunt, but it wasn't a stunt. I wish I could say I'm a marketing genius. Okay. Because by the way, I would do it again because it was genius. It just wasn't planned genius. Like if you go back and watch that video again, you're going to hear me laughing to Jared. What happened was I was doing a recording of how to get through contractions. Mm-hmm. And I went live with some of it. This is one of the problems with social media is that, you open yourself up to the whole world and their opinions. And some kid was on there, one pocket or half pocket or something. And I think that's his name. And I'm like, he's like, you're going to go bankrupt in this cycle. And I said, Jared, hey, Jared, we're making it official today, guys. I'm going bankrupt. I filed for bank. It was a complete joke to Jared. When you go back and listen to it again, you'll hear it. And then I even start talking about everything's for sale. The plane's going to be sold this weekend for, I don't know, 6 or 7 million.
And was that something you were thinking of actively? You're like, oh, I'm going to say this. It's going to be this great big thing. Or is it just like, it was just stream of conscious?
I thought nothing of it. I thought nothing of this. Okay. Like, cause at the end of it, you can hear me say, Jared, we're going to sell all the apartments this weekend too. What do you think they'll bring? 10 cents on the dollar, Jared says. And I said, and the kids and the wife, they all got to go too. And if any of you know a good bankruptcy lawyer, please send him my way. But I've already said that I filed bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So you can hear all these inconsistencies, right? And then I go about shooting my video. Thought nothing of it, dude, and then the internet just blew up. I'm
pretty sure you were like most searched entrepreneur, right? That week.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So, people are going to search Grant Cardone and bankruptcy comes up. Grant Cardone and net worth comes up. Grant Cardone and real estate comes up now, where people weren't searching that. I mean, you could search my real estate holdings. It's kind of hard to lose 8,000 units in a weekend. But we had investors went up. People invested more money with me. We had investors calling in. Is Grant going bankrupt? No. He's not going bankrupt, but why are you worried? Well, what would happen to my investment? Nothing. It's protected. Grant could go bankrupt and you would still not lose your money because they're separate assets. They're protected assets, right? And that gave our investors even more confidence, right? And to put more money in our real estate as a protection device.
And how do you manage the investors at that point? Because obviously there's probably a portion of them that, you know, weren't happy about it or came back to you or writing you emails, etc. So one, how do you handle the communication in that type of scenario where you're kind of manning the ship, everything's up to you and you have to kind of take that responsibility and communicate to them. So how do you handle that with the investors? And then how do you handle that with the actual tenants?
Yeah, there's one group of people you left out. And that's the group you need to handle first. The people closest to you is the people you need to worry about. You know, this is what the celebrity doesn't really talk about much. Maybe they don't understand it. I don't know. But I know this, like when the hate happens, don't worry about the hater. Worry about the people that listen to them. I said this. I've been quoted saying this.
And do people around you still listen to them? Like, do you still see that?
The people close to you. Okay, I have a good friend of mine. You know him, DD. He texted me, "Do you need to pay those people, man?" I said, "Fuck you, man. How dare you? You're my friend, bro. Fuck you. Shame on you, bro, that you would ever believe that I didn't pay somebody." Okay, this is. Don't worry about the hater. Worry about the people that listen to him. I said, whoever said that to you, whoever sent you that link, and the fact that you watched it, shame on you, man. That ain't a friend, bro. And if you're a friend, you're a weak friend. And you're weak right now at this moment because you know better than that. And so what you have to do, you got to worry about the people around you. My wife, Jared, Sherry, the staff, they're freaked out, dude. We're getting hit. We're getting clobbered with, you know, craziness.
And in that moment, are you responding with like, "Oh crap, like did I say or did I do the wrong thing?" Or are you responding?
Of course I'm going through moments of like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." You know? "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." And then I'm like, "Okay, so all right, so I shouldn't have done that. There's a lot of things I shouldn't have done." Okay, but I did it, so it don't matter. So let's quit talking about it.
Yep.
I told my wife this. I'm like, "Hey, look, you know what? I did it. It's done. Let's roll. Future, baby, windshields, not rear view mirrors. And it's going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. Nobody will remember this, by the way. I didn't do anything wrong, okay? Just to defend myself. I did nothing wrong. I'm telling a joke. There's nothing wrong with telling a joke. I'm not burning a building down. Nobody's getting hurt. It's not true. It was a joke. It was not a ploy. I was not trying to trick the internet. I wasn't trying to do clickbait. It was a fucking joke, okay? And I'm not going bankrupt. So there's no truth into it. But notice how all these people close to me get affected.
And going back, did
you know I wasn't going bankrupt?
Oh, 100%, 100%. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even like a thing that registered for me because I'm at a micro level of you, but I put myself in your shoes and I see the same thing because the same thing happens to me at a much micro level. In my company, I say something and everyone starts freaking out. Like, "Zain, you said this, you said that," you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm trying to
Yeah. So my bank called me. Okay, so you mentioned the investors and you mentioned the
tenants too.
The tenants, okay?
Yeah.
They weren't even an issue.
Yeah.
It's family and employees. My twin brother called me. "Hey, bro, I got people calling me. Saying you going bankrupt." I said, "Well, you can tell them that's stupid. You ain't a cowboy. You can't do that anymore." I'm like, "Okay, whatever, dude. I'm telling a joke. When can't you tell a joke?" Okay, so people took it. The world was extremely terrified at that time. That's what they're not confronting. Okay. There are people out there that want people to fail. There was people giddy about it. So all I know is what the truth is. I'm paying everybody. Your assets are protected. I haven't screwed anybody. I'm not going bankrupt. This was a joke. So I got to stay with what's true for me. I'm also aware enough to look at, okay, did I do something that's where the little doubt, that the moment comes in where I'm like, okay, am I going too fast? Okay, what if somebody says I'm going I hear sirens. Oh, dude, because I could be going too fast. It's possible.
But like looking back, I'm sure that increases your confidence though, right? Because now you're having your record month. Now everything's going good. So now you know for the next thing, it's like, okay, I can do this. Like I just have to follow like the same formula. I just got to keep on going.
But I would not have the courage to pull a stunt like that. I just need everybody to know that. I would love to say I could pull that off. I would not do that. Go on and tell the world I'm going bankrupt. Like it's not funny. It's not a funny thing, particularly when a lot of people will go bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I don't mind having a big mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not known for being a subtle person. There will be tens of millions of bankruptcies this year. So like if somebody said, would you do that again? I didn't do it the first time. Okay. I was obviously joking the first time to a guy on the internet that was an anonymous guy that was trolling. It wasn't, I was joking to Jared. Right. But would I go back and do that? I wouldn't go back and try to get attention like that, even though it worked, because definitely more people know my name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was on the phone yesterday. I'm watching all the burnings. I called Snoop, Meek, Magic Johnson, Damon John, and said, hey guys, I want to put together a program to educate millions of kids of color. Okay, kids that underprivileged, kids of color. I have a program and a system I can deliver to millions of people. I already have it funded. It's funded through my foundation. I just need you guys to help me with it. Every one of those guys has already hit me back and saying, hey, I'll do it. By the way, I'm white, and there needs to be a white man involved in this project. Okay, we have to show the United States of America that there's white men that care about kids of color.
So I wanted to ask you about that. I live right here in downtown LA, and I literally see everything, right? So I see the helicopters, the riots, everything, and I'm sure over there you see it too. So for someone that is a minority, for someone that, is a person of color, how do you think they should respond to this to actually get attention to the situation? Because it seems like a lot of the responses, we've been doing this for the last 100 years peacefully, we haven't gotten attention. So now in order to get attention, we got to go through, we got to loot, we got to steal, we got to burn cars on fire. So for you, just someone who's really good at getting attention, how do you think someone of color right now who isn't feeling heard should go out there and get attention?
Well, number one, I mean, if I was 18 years old today, I could very well be and I was in one of these big cities. Even though I'm white, I'd probably be down there. Mm-hmm. I'd be down there, dude. I'd be down there. And the next thing you know, I could be looting. And I mean, I'm telling you, if you take where I was at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, take me and transport me to Chicago this weekend, Baltimore this weekend, LA this weekend, Denver, Chicago, Miami. I guarantee you, I'd be burning something down. I'm telling you, I know if you just took me back to where I was, I watch these kids go into, I think it was in Chicago or Minneapolis, with a little corner pharmacy. CVS. No, it wasn't a CVS. It was a little family-owned thing. I said, watch, they're going to burn this place to the ground. And they didn't. I said, shit, that's what I would have done. I'd have gone in there and looted the place, bagged it out, taken everything out of there. And then before I left, now we got to torch it. Because I was literally so bored, so lost, so confused, so without purpose, so angry. I was such an angry kid. And nobody had really done anything to me. I can't imagine being black today and watching these abuses over and over again. But, what I would tell the kids is, look, you can burn everything you want down. It will not improve your situation. Okay? Hate never pays. Anger never pays. Okay? Building assets pays. And that's why I hit these guys. I said, look, guys, these kids are burning businesses down. We need to teach them how to build businesses. They're protesting. We need to teach them how to invest. Okay. They already know how to protest. They know how to burn shit down. Anybody can do that. You got to learn how to build and you got to learn how to invest. You can't go back to school, by the way. See, what the politicians are going to do is they're going to be like, we need more schooling. We need better education. We need more college. College is the way. That ain't the way, man. You got to teach these young kids how to make money fucking this weekend. How can I go build a business in my neighborhood this weekend? How can I buy the duplex down the street with no money down and live in one side and rent the other side out? Because if I have assets, I won't let people burn my shit down.
Hmm.
And so that's why those guys all responded. Snoop called me up. I got you back 100%.
And do you have a theory on why all of this is happening at once, right? Like we had coronavirus, and then we have a bunch of other events where everyone's about to go back out and open up, and then all of this starts to happen. Do you have a theory on why this is all happening right now and all at once?
Well, that's a different, yeah, I do. I mean, I do, but I don't think it matters. I think what matters is that, I think the whole thing, I don't think things just happen. I think that this is an active, this is not an accident. This is meant to further divide and I don't mean divide people. I mean divide everyone from their shit and their hope. This isn't a black or white thing. This is take everything, own and control everybody on this planet.
And what's the number one way to fight that?
Dude, to get assets. I mean, the best way for me to do anything is to control assets and to not get into the herd mentality and to get big. You can't be little. You got to grow. People have to become aware. Who am I? What can you do to me? And enough people stands up and like, you're not going to vaccinate me. Okay. I know the next thing is the vaccine. I mean, if my kids want to be vaccinated, okay, well, whatever you guys want to be vaccinated, good. I'm going to tell you why I think you shouldn't get vaccinated. Because the first thing's the vaccine, then it'll be the chip.
I'm just going to keep going.
And then it's going to be, okay, we know everyone and where they are and who they are. And it's not about money. This is not about money. This is about power. This is about total control of everything. And so people need to look at where you're getting your information from, man. You go to work every day, you take your money, you give it to the bank. It's so stupid. People won't even give money to their charity. I'm like, you won't give money to your charity, you give it to the bank. And the bank ain't ever done anything for you. Okay. You go buy stuff that's backed by the bank. Somebody shows you a way to break out of that. You call it a scam. The scam is the one you're participating in now. No awareness, no self-awareness. Okay. You believe whatever mommy and daddy told you, because mommy and daddy, by the way, when you were a kid, you were like, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? And they finally said, shut up, because they didn't know why. So they told you to quit asking questions. Then they indoctrinate you with 12 years of school, 4 years of college, if you could make it. Then people don't save your money, invest in a retirement account. This whole thing is set up to play a handful of winners. And so first you got to get self-aware. You got to start asking questions. Who am I? What happens to me when I die? That'd be kind of important to know. Is what I've been told even true? Did the people that told me this know what they were talking about? Those same people gave you money on advice, jobs, retirement, where to live. Why do I need to buy one place? Why do I need to buy a house and live in one place? Okay. Is America the greatest place in the world? Most of the people that say that have never traveled outside of America. I've been to some freaking awesome places, dude. I got off the plane in Singapore. I was like, whoa, man, America's got some cleaning up to do. Okay, the stuff that's going on this weekend in America, that should have never happened in Singapore. You cannot chew gum on the streets of Singapore.
Or spit, right?
Huh?
I don't think you can spit in Singapore. If you spit on the ground, it's a fine.
You're not supposed to, but I did when I was there. I'm like, I got it one in. Okay.
And does all of this just like, kind of one thing I've observed with you, a lot of people out there, as you continue to grow, just naturally, people are going to create more, more hysteria and things about you and stories and BS and rumors and all this stuff as you start to get bigger, and just a part of the process. Do you keep on growing and getting bigger? I've seen that happen. A lot of the people that are talking crap about Grant are the same people that aren't growing, right? Or they're kind of roller coastering. Like I see them out there putting out content for a month and then they disappear, or whatever the case may be. And I always see you growing. And I actually mention this to a lot of different people. Every time your name pops up in a conversation, that's always the first thing I say. Hey, I totally understand your beliefs on that, or what Jordan said, or what this guy said, but Grant keeps on growing every year. I watch Grant, and Grant keeps on growing. And a lot of these guys who talk crap aren't growing.
I was looking at a BBJ 2 days ago. I ain't going anywhere. Ain't nobody getting me out of here. Grab my bag out of my office. They're rioting around the neighborhood, so I'm gonna grab my bag.
There we go.
Because dang, I wish I wouldn't have come here. So yeah, look, that is a great, Zain, you're a very aware dude. Okay, not that you're. I think you're supportive of me, but not because you're saying that, but because people should look at where the shit's coming from, right? Ain't nobody bigger than me talking shit about me. The people that talk shit about me are, and by the way, I will talk shit about people. The one guy you mentioned, he's a rat, he's a criminal, he's a convicted criminal, he's a piece of fucking garbage.
And I actually met him in person. This is funny. I publicly call him out too. And I met him in person, and for everyone to hear, we're talking about Jordan Belfort. And I was shocked because, I've met you in person a few times, and every time we've met, just a great energy. It's like an awesome acknowledgement. It feels good. And, not to go on a rant about this, but I met Jordan and his head was down. He couldn't even look me in the eyes. He kind of like shooed me off.
He's still a drug addict. He's still a drug addict. I was a drug addict. I recovered from my drug addiction. It's not in my body. I'm not using. He is a drug addict. He is currently using drugs. He is a convicted criminal. Not only is he a convicted criminal, he has never ever fixed that. What's it called when you're not a criminal anymore? Rehabilitate. He ain't and on top of all that shit, he's a fucking rat. He's a rat, dude. Now, there ain't nothing worse. In my world, the world I grew up in, you can make a lot of mistakes. Dude, you can't be a rat. I mean, you can't be a rat. He ratted out the people that helped him. He ratted out his buddies. Shit, it's not with me, Johnny. So anyway, I don't even mention his name. Like, he's just a piece of garbage. Sure. But these other kids that talk shit about me, look, people, at least they're talking about me. Kevin Hart don't talk about me, talks to me. Magic Johnson, he don't talk about me. He invests money with me. We do deals together. A-Rod don't talk about me. We're trying to figure out how to create a fund together. So you make a good point. Like, people should look at what people are doing, not what people are saying. Doing. Doing this leaves clues, right? If I leave litter throughout the office, then you're going to see it behind me. You can't fake that.
And it's the best way to like invest in someone too, right? Like when I look at Elon Musk, right? All this shit just coming at him. He's saying this stuff on these conference calls. Like you're obviously big, but you put Elon Musk up, right? He's on a completely other pedestal, right? Like the entire world is watching him. He's on these board investor calls and he's just mocking these people, right? On these serious calls. He's sending out a tweet, and then within 5 minutes, his company's valuation, drives up billions of dollars, right? Like crazy stuff.
And then he launches a rocket this weekend. Wasn't that him?
Keeps on growing, and that's the crazy part. And everyone that keeps on talking, it's like the number one indicator to actually invest in someone or something is just looking at their history, right? It's like it's such an obvious thing, but a lot of people don't. They're like, oh, I'm going to short Elon. He's going down. This is happening. But again, you look at that growth pattern. It's like, okay, dude, like the next thing Grant does, I'm following that. The next thing Elon does, I'm following that. Yeah. So loyalty, right? I'm not looking around because I know the track record before.
Yeah. And does it mean Elon's perfect, or I'm not perfect? I'm not perfect. I don't expect Elon to be. So there's things like I watch Conor McGregor. I'm like, hey, why do that, dude? I don't understand why you're doing that. But I don't know what his game is. I see Trump do stuff. I'm like, that's stupid, dude. But he's the president of the United States. I mean, maybe that's what it took to become the president. I don't know. I just know this. I got my hands full with my shit. I'm not going to focus on yours until I get my own backyard perfectly manicured. And most of the time I got my own game. I need to work on my game, not yours. And so if I can help make a difference, be a difference, defend myself, I will always defend myself, punch somebody back if I have to. But for the most part, I leave, because the one guy you mentioned, there's another 100 that try to make plays. You can't piss upstream and not expect for it to fall on your face.
Love that. Love
so
that.
Don't hate up, because it doesn't look good. It's not attractive, because everybody knows a guy smaller than me talking about me.
It's just not good.
It just doesn't look good. Like, you might convince some people to get on the bandwagon, but anybody with any intelligence, is going to be like that. It just doesn't play. For
sure. And those people actually lose credibility in my eyes when I see that happen, right? Because it's like, how could you fall for that?
It'd be like a new rapper hating on Jay-Z. Like.
Yeah, 100%. So one of my questions for you, Grant, is, do you plan to keep on growing the personal brand and just Grant Cardone continuously forever? Like, is this something? And the reason I ask is because I've always tried to figure out the why. And obviously there's different motivations. Like, okay, it's awesome to make money. It's awesome for the brand to grow. It's awesome to spread education. It's awesome to spread information. But what is like your core fundamental driver into continuing to blow up the Grant Cardone name, one? And then two, do you ever see yourself stopping that?
Yeah. So no, I don't see myself stopping it. I can't imagine. You must be nervous, Johnny. I can't imagine stopping it. Like what would I do every day, man? I mean, I could go live in Thailand I could go get a boat. Like, one of my dream trips is to go get one of these 200-foot yachts, and go just float around. After a week, I'm going to be like, I'm sick of this. Call the helicopter.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to do the helicopter, fly out to the village, act like the big shot, go there, have dinner, drink some expensive wine, come back in, wake up with a hangover, do that 3 or 4 times, eat the best foods. And then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm tired of this game. Who can I help? Man, see, the thing about helping people, that's why I want to go help these inner city kids. Dude, that's where the wealth is. Mm-hmm. Snoop Dogg told me, he's like, Grant, if we do this right, you could live for 500 years.
Wow.
That is a score right there.
So how do you manage all that? You have 10X boot camp, Cardone Ventures, you have the fund, you have Cardone University, right? And this is a question for the audience, but also for me, right? I've heard you say at times, double down, double down, double down. And I've heard you say expand, expand, expand. And we keep seeing you continuously get into new ventures, grow, expand. So how do you manage all of that, Grant?
I don't think I manage it. I don't really love that word. I'm not managing anything really. I'm just creating. And somehow I got good people around me that pick up, make sure.
And is that it? Is it like a big energy you put into it instantly right away? It creates, and then just kind of has its own life.
I put create into the win. Like, I'm looking for WIN. I'm putting create into a win. If it wins, then I'm like, let's do it again. Let's improve on it a little bit and do it again. If it doesn't win, I'm like, I get angry. Why didn't that work? I know it's supposed to work. That should work. Oh, well, this was wrong and that was wrong and this was wrong. And I'm like, yeah, but so what, dude? That is supposed to work. I know that can work. I know. See, like Elon knows. I know we can go to Mars. He just believes. I know we should have tunnels underneath the city of Vegas. I know that whatever he knows, solar, right? So he doesn't care about the money. He's like, I'm willing to go broke doing this. I think that's the other thing about the money game is once you get enough money, you're like, okay, I don't need the money. I need the score.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, most people don't, they're like, oh, I just want to help mankind. Yeah, but you've never had any money. So if you don't, that's going to keep getting you distracted, because every time you go to save the world, you're going to realize you ain't even save your own yourself. So nobody follows you because you left yourself behind.
Yeah.
I can't follow you if you're behind me.
And what's the point where for an up and coming entrepreneur or even a salesperson, employee, whatever, at what point do you keep just focusing on one thing, and at what point do you start creating more? Like, is there a point you have to kind of reach before you can create more?
Well, I spent too much time not creating more stuff. Like I spent too much time repeating the same thing because it was working, it was paying me, it was look, once it starts doing it on its own, and you're not having dips, you know the conditions, right? So I'm using the conditions most of the time. Once I have something that's continuing to move forward without me having to tweak it every second of every day.
And is that like for 1 month, 6 months, a year? Like how long do you look at that before you're like, okay, this is successfully operating?
Well, I've done that condition course, that green book on ethics that I first got introduced to conditions on, that was produced by Hubbard and the Church of Scientology. I mean, I keep that book, it's almost never away from me. Like I use those conditions. There's like 12 pages in that book I use like all the time. I've used them so much now, it's like I've done a couple of courses on them. I literally can see a graph without seeing the graph. You could tell me the numbers of a department and I would know what condition that department's in. And I can almost feel it. I know this sounds really weird, but I can almost feel what needs to happen in a department, whether it's promotion, which is most of the time the number one thing that's out in departments more often than not, at least in our company, is promotion, and then more promotion. Because people can't hear anything, man. The whole world, look, right now, how could anybody at one of my properties hear anything? We had 70,000 people sign up for a course Saturday. 11,000 people showed up. I knew that 70,000 wouldn't show up. Why? It's not because I didn't tell them I was having a free course. It's because I was competing with protests that I didn't plan on. So,
so when you market,
look, the UFC didn't get the viewership they needed this weekend because of protests. Because the freaking TV is so stimulating or re-stimulating. It's so exciting to watch people rob shit. Oh my God, I can't believe this. It's so dramatic, dude. Like I told my wife, don't change the channel. This is the best TV I've ever seen in my life, because it's so fascinating. It's so awful. Like you wouldn't even do a show about this. It's like apocalyptic stuff. So the point of that is, the 10X rule talks about, look, you're not planning for these things that happen, that push back against you and push down your targets, like so you don't achieve it. So you need to keep doing those things until that thing's running, even despite coronavirus, despite gravity, despite competition, despite upsets, etc., that we talked about.
Dude, for sure. And one last point I have for you, Grant, is when it comes to marketing, you touch on something super important with promotion. A lot of people I hear commonly now are trying to put in $1 and get $4 back right away, right?
Yeah,
and they're looking at their cost of acquisition. Is that something you follow, or do you more look at it as I'm putting in my money right now, I'm gaining the brand awareness? Because if you look at the big companies, they do not really care about cost of acquisition. It's brand awareness, right? It's like, how can I get out there? How can I have enough TV commercials, billboards, Facebook ads, Instagram? So for you, do you guys measure that very closely in terms of the instant cost of acquisition, or are you playing the long game with that?
I'm doing what the big companies do, not what the internet marketers with fancy cars do. So, you put in $1, you get $4 back. All right. If you want $3, good. You could you could go to what's the thing they do? They go sell stuff at the thing on the weekends. You can go to the flea market if you want to. you want to sell baseball cards, flea market. You want to do all that stuff. Good. If you want to make $20, but you can't even do a flea market right now. So kind of a bad idea, right? So baseball cards, I can't imagine anybody's buying one. Me investing $1 to get $4 back. I don't need the $4 back. I need the program to work. I need people to know me. So I just think it's too simplistic to say I'm going to put in $1. What's the value of somebody knowing my name? We did a deal this weekend. We spent less than $100,000 to get 70,000 people to register to produce $2 million of profit. It was profitable. It made 300 grand before I even did the deal. Okay. All I know is, hey guys, we're going to do it again. We're not going to spend 100 next time. We're going to spend $1 million. And by the way, the $1 million, if I get $1 million back, that's fine. If I get $500,000 back, for me to get 70,000 people to register, 7 million people had to see my name. What's the long-term value of that? Now, I can do that because I understand how to operate my other companies positive. Most people can't do that because they don't understand the first thing about wealth, which is cash flow. If you don't have cash flow, you can't be in the game. So if you can't manage cash flow, that's why most of these guys that are recommending to people how to do money, they always, how to do advertising, they end up with money problems because they don't know how to do cash flow. You got to have cash flow. If you don't have cash flow, that's why the first March 22nd, when this shit went down, what did I do? I started cutting people immediately. That's really, really important for people to know.
Because like your goal is for the boat to keep rowing, because if you don't, the boat might sink and then no one has a ship, right?
Check this out. I called 3,700 investors and said, you're not going to be paid this month. You're not going to be paid in March. No, April, May, or June. Okay. Why not? Are the properties doing good? They're doing fine. Then why aren't you going to pay me? Because I am frugal and I am the fiduciary. I have a fiduciary responsibility to protect these apartments. Okay. And never to lose the asset. So we're not going to distribute. I'm going to push it aside because I don't want to call you back and say, I need money. So we're going to do that. Now, was that a marketing ploy? Dude, that was the worst thing I could possibly do for marketing, but it was the right thing to do. Okay. Investors that will be with me for the long run, be like, dude, you're doing the right thing. I'm not worried about that distribution. I know you'll do the right thing with the money. From a marketing standpoint, I should have been like, we're still going to pay you. We're going to keep paying you. But it would have been the wrong thing to do. At the end of the day, though, this is going to be a brilliant marketing move for me because I'm going to pay them all at one time. Bam, you're good. We're gold. Okay. I did the right thing. I was frugal. I did the fiduciary thing. Here's your money. And again, I did that. Why? Because I want to contract, protect my stuff. Don't loot. Don't go backwards. Right? Don't go backwards so that you can go full out again and not have losses. You don't want losses, you know, because then what do you have to market? Part of promotion is just promoting wins. And the reason I promote, the first reason I want those ads coming up, look, I get upset when I don't get retargeted on my own ads. I want to see my ad. Oh, you're in the game, Grant. You're in the game. I need Johnny to see the ads. You've been retargeted today? Okay. I need Johnny to see the ads. Oh, shit, he ain't going away. I need you to see the ad, even though you're not going to hit the clicky.
At what percentage is it cold traffic and is it retargeting for you? Do you know? Is that in your?
I mean, I think 40% of our, for this real estate webinar we did, 40% of it was brand new traffic.
Wow.
So maybe more than that. I don't know. Alan was saying something about that today. It might have been flipped. It might be 60% new and 40% old.
That's awesome.
But awesome. we have a huge repeat business here. Like, you know, I have people that have bought 17 products from me. You know, we had people, like we did a real estate webinar this weekend. We had people spending $10,000 on a second offer on a lot of people, by the way, because they want to come spend 2 days with me. This month, I'll tell you what we sold this month. This month, you know, I said, because the coronavirus thing, people are tired of the Zoom shit. I kept hearing people complain about Zoom, mostly me. I'm sick of Zoom. So I'm like, oh, guys, we need to do awareness. This is back to the awareness thing. Oh, we need to do a in-person thing. We can't do it yet. The city's closed. Fuck it. Then we definitely need to do it. Tell them I'm doing it anyway. I hope they come arrest me. Well, nobody wants to travel. 25 people will travel to come hang out with me. We sold that in 4 days. $10,000 a person, $250,000 was raised in like 4 days. What does that do? That brings clients into my company. It pays commissions to my people, and it advertises something's happening here. Okay. 4 days after we do the deal and fill it up, the city opens up. You're good to go. Sometimes you got to make the bet, man.
For sure.
Okay. Then we followed it up with, hey, I'm doing a real estate webinar. Okay. 70,000 people registered in 20 days for that. Cost us a little bit of money to do it. People start finding out about me. We did the event today. So again, you got to be in the game to be in the game. You know, you got to be on the field. You got to be promoting all the time, and you got to have something interesting that people want to do by finding out what people want and need.
And then on the delivery part of that, so like once you go really heavy on the promotion, obviously like the next side is the delivery. How do you handle that personally? Is that something where you go into delivery and you're like, oh crap, like what are people going to think? Are they going to be happy about this? Is this going to be a good product? Or is it something that you kind of have down now where you know you can promote something and you know it's really easy to deliver? Like how does that look for you?
I mean, I have confidence in, you know, we don't deliver bad products here. So again, when you deliver bad products, you don't get repeat business. Like I get a lot of repeat business. I get tremendous amounts of repeat. Like we've done rooms before where Jared's like, everybody here has Cardone University. Everybody. Yeah, I said, how many people here have Cardone University? Every person in a room. There was 3,200 people in a room. Every person had it. Like we did an event in Vegas, 12,000 people there. He's like, Grant, you can't offer this product here because like 87% of the room has it. I said, okay, yeah, we don't want to do that. Okay, so what can we do? You know, so then you got to figure out, hey, that's why people need a full inventory of products. That's why so many people right now on the internet don't do well, because they're just really pretenders and dilettantes. They thought it was going to be easy to start a business from home. They make a little bit of money for a little while and then it dies because they haven't built. I've been doing this 35 years, man. You don't trick companies. You know, the thing about the internet is, you know, I started before the internet. I was calling on companies. I didn't know how good that was for me, but that's, I mean, my business is 1/3 corporations paying me every month. So business owners, not little people like Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies. Company does $6 billion of sales a year. You can't trick them. Then we added the entrepreneur. That wasn't my first thing. That was another thing. You know, then we added the event business. Well, you do an event. I mean, look at the reviews on the 10X Growth Conference for Vegas. After I did Marlin Stadium with 35,000 people, and everybody says, you cannot do a better event than that. Then I go back and do Vegas, and now they're saying that was the single best event ever held on planet Earth by Microsoft. I mean, people are saying better than a multi-billion-dollar Microsoft runs. The Salesforce, better than a Salesforce event, which is private for their employees. Like that event was phenomenal. You can not even the haters couldn't even hate on that event. Some of them did hate on my shoes, but.
Did 100%. I actually, my neighbor's Floyd. So Floyd lives in the same building as I do. And his bodyguard, I'm actually having him on the podcast in the next few weeks. Ray, I don't know if you know Ray.
Yeah, I know Ray.
Yeah. So I'm having Ray on the podcast, but we were talking about you, and he's like, "Dude, it was a crazy event, unbelievable."
Floyd, let me tell you, Floyd Mayweather, who's been everywhere in the world. Okay, Floyd Mayweather walked out there. If you go back and watch that video, Floyd looks at me, and you can see. Now this guy's been everywhere. You can see him look at me with like, dude, this is good. He was so happy, so satisfied, because champions, okay, Floyd clearly is a champion, right? champions understand when something's been done right. John Travolta, he walked out there. He's like, wow, man. John's been everywhere. John's been in front of kings and queens and princes, and he's been in every event, like, you know, you name it. Like, these are unlimited budget kind of people. Usher was out there. Usher, how many stages you think Usher's been on? Fuck. He's like, wow, man. Dana White says, bro, the UFC does a good event. This is stupid. So, you know, he's like, how long are these people here? Dana White shows up on a Saturday. Hey, can I come by? So that's his town, by the way. So he comes by. He's like, God damn, how long is this? He's like, 3 days. My deal's 3 hours, 4 hours, people bitching. You do a deal for 3 days. That's unbelievable. So again, but you got to have money to do that, man. You can't just do that. You know, you can't do that on a shoestring budget. We spent $7 million on that event. You better believe in yourself to do that. So again, that's why people are like, man, I want to do the best events. I want to do this. You need money to do that stuff. How few people talk about money on the internet?
What do you mean by that?
They don't talk about money. They talk about how to get more with less, how to work less and get more.
Yeah.
How to work by yourself, how to work from home, how not to invest money, how to put no money down. Everything's about how to do less. And I keep telling people, and why I have so many haters is I tell people the truth. That's why I could never be elected for an office. You know, it's because I'm like, guys, you need to make more money, period. It's not a popular subject.
And I don't even think it's about figuring out how to kind of phase two something, right? It's about once you figure out one thing, you're on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Whereas people are so focused on one thing, and that's why they want to believe that. They're like, I don't want to have to work harder. I want to be able to just relax and, you know, make money with this thing. You're like, I want to do the same thing with the business. I agree that the business should kind of get to this point where it's operating by itself, but I'm going to keep creating more businesses. And that's, and like, to me, when I see you, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. Because they're looking for one way to get off this is why people save money. You save money because you're looking for a way to exit the game. This is why Wall Street and the banks have people figured out. They're, look, people, let's convince people they deserve to get out of the game. If we can convince people that they should get out of the game, then they will give us their money that they work their asses off, because we will promise them that we will be there for them when they get out of the game. It's the biggest fucking lie there is, dude. Like, you don't want to get out of the game. The game is the game. You know, my daughter said the other day, how do you know that we're not in a game and we're just the players in the game? I said, baby, I can't promise you we're not in the game. We might be in the game right now. Okay. And if we're in the game, I want to make sure I'm playing a game I want to play with a lot of action. I get to win more often than I lose. My family gets to win more often than I lose. Maybe we are in a game. How would I know if maybe this is Jumanji?
For sure. Well, Grant, I appreciate it, man. I just want to say one thing to you, brother. Every single time you keep on growing, I keep on growing. And I look at you as one of those people, right? I have a few people in my life that I follow, and I kind of look at their success, and as they grow, I want to also be growing, and it always pushes me. So keep on doing the same exact thing. Keep on fucking growing, because all the people that are hating, all the people that bring it down, they're not the people that motivate, right? And at the end of the day, I know one of your missions and your goals is to inspire people around. And for someone like myself, like when I first started following you, probably had like $500 to my name. And then a year or two of following you, I had $100,000 to my name.
Wow.
3, 4, 5 years, now I have a $50 million business, right? And so that keeps on growing. But guess what? I didn't get to that point and say, I'm going to stop following Grant. No, I saw you continue to grow, right? Like when I first started watching you, I'm pretty sure you were still in LA. Like, stuff was so different, right? You had a smaller office. You had like 3 or 4 people, right? You were just getting started, and I see you grow, and that keeps on motivating me. So I continue to follow it.
To you, I was just getting started, but I'd been in business for 22 years. And the mistake I made, you know, I was acting like a punk the whole time. I was a rat to myself, dude. That's why I know a rat when I see one. I was being a criminal to myself, to my potential impossibility. That's why I know I can smell a criminal. You know, I knew when I went and did that interview with that punk, I'm like, this guy's just a criminal, running a little dump business out of his house with a bunch of kids that he probably doesn't pay anything to, selling a bunch of bullshit courses online that you know, it's just bullshit, dude. It's a bullshit hustle. It's not a business. It's not a business. It's not something you get a loan for. You know, a business is something the banks value. You know, my bank, when I did that damn bankruptcy bullshit, my banker called me. He's like, that's some funny shit. I said, what's so funny about it? He's like, I'm looking at your financial statement right now. He's like, that's just because he sees it. You want a loan? I said, how much? He's like, you need like 25 million? We're going to be going through this Corona thing. I think I can get you 25 million, maybe even have it forgiven. See, that's a business. When your banker calls you, you got a business. When you call your banker and ask for money, you ain't got a business yet.
I love that, bro. All right, Grant. Well, I appreciate your time, brother.
Be great, brother.
All right, man. We'll see you later.